An Environmental Conscience Pepsi Cola by Brittany Coleman, Candace Hooks, Lanicia Rogers, and Yemi Ojo.
The history of Pepsi Cola. Pepsi Cola is a multinational food, snack, and beverage corporation. Most recently, in 2015, Pepsi Cola celebrated its 50th anniversary through its founding in 1965 by the merging of Pepsi Cola and Frito-Lay. Pepsi Cola independently was created by pharmacist Caleb Bradham in New Bern, North Carolina in the late 1890s, whereas Frito-Lay was formed through the merging of Elmer Doolin's Frito Company and Herman H. Lay's H.W. Lay Company in 1961. The history of Pepsi Cola. Pepsi Cola is a Together, the organization had a combined 19,000 employees and generated sales of $510 million. The mission of Pepsi Cola is to provide consumers around the world with delicious, affordable, convenient, and complimentary foods and beverages, from wholesome breakfasts to healthy and fun daytime snacks and beverages to evening treats. Their overall commitment is to invest in their people, their company, the community where they operate, and help positions the company in a long-term sustainable growth. The vision of Pepsi Cola is at Pepsi Cola, their aim is to deliver top tier financial performance over the long term by integrating sustainability into their business strategy, leaving a positive imprint on society and the environment, with the goal of being to conserve the precious natural resources and fostering environment responsibility in and beyond their operation. The vision of Pepsi Cola is to ensure that a positive imprint is being left on the society and the environment itself.
PepsiCo is a major company that continues to look for ways to innovate themselves and increase their revenue. Their food product alone account for 53% of their total revenue, and the beverages account for the remaining 47%. Out of all this revenue being made, 51% of this comes from North America sales, while 49% comes from the international sales. In 2014, PepsiCo had a net revenue of $66.7 million. This is an increase from the previous year, and they continue to look for different ways to be efficient. They look for different ways to become much more productive, and so that their customers will continue to fall in love with them. One of the designs that they created in the last 1 year to increase their customer satisfaction is the creation of Pepsi Spire. The goal of this creation was to make sure they give their customers opportunity to experience their flavors, to experience what PepsiCo is all about. In this creation, PepsiCo have over $1,000 of flavor in this, and it's the goal to make it all accessible to their customers. Customers are given the opportunity to customize their drinks and put different flavors together and see what comes out of it. This has been a huge success for PepsiCo, and their innovative designs alone account for 9% of their total revenue, and it continues to. Analyzing PepsiCo, we have to put two or three things together: the financial analysis together, the operational analysis, and the investment. The investment is where we look at Pepsi Spire. In the financial analysis, we see if they are making money and ways for them to continue to make money. In the end of 2014, we already knew how much revenue they had for 2014, and out of that, we have a current ratio. Did they end 2014 as $1.14? What this is saying is that for every $1 of liabilities, they do have $1.14 in asset. This is good for a multi-million dollar company. However, we want to make sure for next year it is a little bit higher than it is. It is important for every major corporation that is going to be successful to make sure their asset is higher than their liabilities. The quick ratio ended with 0.85, which explains, or it's saying that for every $1 of their current liabilities, they do have 85 cents of liquid assets. The return on sales was 9.75%. This is saying that for every dollar of sales that they have, they do have 10 cents out of that as profit. For any major multi-million dollar, 10 cents on every dollar spent is $10, $1 of sale. It is great for business. But in the coming year, or in the coming fiscal year, we want to make sure we increase that. And in that increase is what we're going to be looking for ahead, is how we want to introduce a technology switch into all the factories to kind of cut down operational expenses. We will be talking about what we're recommending, which is solar panel, and we will be discussing that further down the line. And the debt to equity ratio is $1.40 for the period ending 2014, and that says that for every $1 of the shareholders' equity, they do have $1.40 of debt. We want to make sure for next year this is not the case, because if we have a longer short-term debt, more an amounting to be more than shareholders' equity, at the end of the day, or at the end of the years, we continue with this, we'll continue to see less and less revenue, which is profit. And the goal of any business is for us to continue to make money. The operating margin for 2014 is 14.4. This is an decrease from what they had from 2013. What is operating margin? Operating margins are saying that for every $1 of sales, we need to hand something. And that means that for every $1 of sales that they had in 2014, 15 cents was being earned. And that is still good for business. That is still great, but the goal is to continue to make sure we have a higher number. The gross margin is 53.7, and that means that for every dollar of sales, we only have 46 cents in put into the cost of that product, which means there's 54% out there that can be used to cover any other expenses that will be used to promote the product, and the rest will be profit that we earn. The return on equity is 31.29, and that means that for every dollar invested by the stockholders, by the shareholders, we have 30 cents of net income. That is also great as well. The earnings per share is $4.27 per share held. We want to make sure it continues to stay in the positive, because that means if it's negative, that means the stock options for PepsiCo is going down. It has definitely increased from previous years, because previous years the competitors always seem to take businesses from us, but over the years, because of our different ways that we've reinvented ourselves, because of different ways that we've put things together to continue to satisfy our customer base, we have been experiencing a positive increase in our stock options. And this is great for business. If you look at this graph that we have over here, you could see that in the last 2 years we are experiencing some growth. We are experiencing some reduction in our expenses, and try to see some growth in our profit earning. And this is the goal. This is the goal. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to make sure is happening, that we continue to make money, and at the same time, we continue to make our clients fall in love with us.
Why solar energy? Well, solar energy is regarded as a renewable resource designed to provide communities and individuals with a cleaner, more suitable energy for now and in the future. With sunlight capable of producing more than 173,000 terawatts for continuous solar energy, which is an estimated 10,000 times more than energy used by the world. Solar PV panels are high tech yet simple enough in technology that they're able to convert sunlight directly into electricity. meaning solar panels are able to provide clean electricity to organizations and businesses alike. Some additional incentives and benefits are credits towards utilities. Businesses are paid for solar generation over a long period of time, as well as receive a 30% federal tax credit and also state tax incentives for renewable energy purchases. Additional incentives are also provided at the local government level, such as tax exemptions, thus allowing Pepsi Cola to impact those that mean the most, from the consumer to the business to the employee.
And today, board members, I would like to present to you an interesting investment opportunity. With 227 plants servicing over 3,800 warehouses worldwide, PepsiCo uses lots of energy and emits lots of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. As you all may know, there have been changes in the legal and regulatory environment that can limit our business activities, increase our operating costs, and reduce demand for our products or result in litigation. We were fined over $1.3 million last year in environmental regulation violations at one warehouse alone. I want to propose today the prospect of solar energy as applied to warehouses. Our commitment to renewable energy can be realized by investing into my proposed solar energy initiative. Prices of solar energy are falling exponentially, and the install cost of solar polyvoltaic systems continues to fall. Big warehouses are, in general, a good candidate for solar energy because roof space is an idle asset. Warehouses often have large, unobstructed flat roofs that can accommodate large solar PV systems. There are also states and countries that have promoted solar PV energy with subsidies. With the installation of solar panels at some of our warehouses, especially those in Latin America where electricity is at a premium, my research indicates that solar energy is expected to supply nearly 80% of the warehouse summertime power needs to keep the buildings cool, and 40% of its needs the rest of the year. The panels provide a year-round average of 55% of the annual electricity consumed by the warehouse building. The panels generate enough electricity to power approximately 12 average-sized homes every day. Solar power will offset more than 112,000 pounds of carbon dioxide annually. Risk versus reward. The risk associated with not investing in this initiative is that industrial firms are expected to pay higher utility rates when the electric energy policies are implemented by the federal government in 2020. If this company continues to invest in renewable energy as part of our commitment to protect and conserve the natural resource base this company depends on, there are many advantages of installing solar power on warehouse rooftops, but the number one reason you should consider installing solar panels is because it will give our warehouse a huge competitive advantage as utility electricity rate hikes continue to drive monthly electricity bills higher and higher. Not to mention, it's a great way to take advantage of the 30% federal tax credit. It would be my recommendation to invest in the installation of solar panels at all of our U.S. warehouses to help reduce our operation costs. In addition to saving money, creating jobs, and creating economic development, The best thing about solar power is that it produces zero air pollution. When global warming is a growing problem facing the world, installing solar power is one of the best ways for Pepsi Company to reduce their carbon footprint.
What does the future hold for Pepsi Cola? We at Pepsi Cola intend on expanding and investing in greater opportunities that will allow Pepsi Cola to continue to service our many consumers across the globe. Pepsi Cola promises to continue into looking to many opportunities that will allow us to produce more sales so that we can continue to leave a positive imprint on the environment and society. Let us continue to work towards making Pepsi Cola a larger corporation by producing and investing in more products. Pepsi Cola promises to continue into looking to